You see that? This is the moment that decides if this computer is insane value or it's not for you, because everywhere else it's really solid. Let me rewind. I've been riding the Coospo CS600 for about a month now. At the time I'm recording this, it's around 110 euros on the Coospo website. I'll show you what I like first, and then we're gonna come back to that of course moment, because that could be a deal breaker for some riders. Quick disclosure, Coospo did send me this for testing, but the video isn't paid and they didn't review the video before it was published. If you want a bike computer for training and everyday rides, this is really good for the price. But if you're buying it for navigation, then there's one thing you definitely should know. Alright, quick build check. First, it's light and compact. Size-wise, it's a bit smaller than my Roam V2. It uses the standard Garmin-style quarter-ton mount, and mine stayed solid even on rough roads. It's also IPX7 rated, so rain rides are fine. Also, it comes with a basic mount and a screen protector in the box. And the USB-C charging port is on the back, which I kind of like because it feels sheltered from the rain. Now, the screen and controls. This is the part you'll notice every single ride. In normal daylight, it is easy to read. It has auto backlight, so it adjusts when you go from shade to sun. But in direct sun, I feel like the auto brightness was a bit dim, especially with sunglasses. So on bright days, I usually bump it up to 70% manually. It's also glossy, so sunlight can cause reflections. Not a deal breaker, but it's something that you're definitely gonna notice. For controls, you can use the touch screen, buttons, or both. Swiping left and right to change pages is straightforward. Buttons work great for me with gloves and in the rain. In rain, the touch can get a bit unpredictable, so I just lock the screen and use the buttons. This is one of the best parts, the data pages. You can build your own layouts up to 8 fields on one page. And there are loads of data options. Coospo says over 150 data types. It also has practical training basics like Auto Lab and Auto Pages. And if you're into structured sessions, you can also import up to 100 workouts. So if you care a lot about data display and training screens, this part definitely delivers. Alright, let's talk about sensors, radar, and shifting. Setup was quick, and after that, it just reconnects when you turn it on. On my rides, everything I use, speed, cadence, heart rate, radar, shifting, stayed connected, and there were no random dropouts. Radar alerts are easy to understand. You get a simple color bar, green, orange, red, so you know what's happening behind you. The bar sits on the side of the screen, so it can slightly cover some data fields. If you don't prefer that, there's also a dedicated radar page. And shifting works too. My wheel top setup paired just fine and the gear display showed up properly. Next, how accurate is the GPS? For GPS, the route recording looked cleaned. No random jumps or weird zigzags. The GPS lock was also quick for me. Even when I stopped at traffic lights, the line didn't wander around the junction. The corners also looks normal. The line stayed on the road and there's no drifting into buildings. On the device though, the position dot can sometimes feel a bit behind when you're moving fast on the bike. But when I checked the ride after, the recorded route still matched the roads pretty well. So, for ride recording, it did what I needed. Okay, GPS recording is solid. But now, let's talk about the battery because this is the best part. The battery has been great for me. Coospo claims up to 36 hours of battery life. On a 3-hour ride with my sensors and radar connected and with auto brightness enabled, it used only around 10% battery. So for my kind of riding, I don't have to charge this after every ride. The charging time is also pretty solid. From 55% to 100% took me roughly around 1 hour. Alright, the battery is good, but how about the app and the integrations? Alright, quick app check. The app itself is pretty basic, but pairing was fast and mine took a few seconds to connect. After that, it just reconnects when Bluetooth is on and the app is running. Now, the route. I plan most of my routes in Komoot, but with this, I can't just tap share and send to device because there's no direct integration. So I export a GPX file, import it into the Coospo Ride app, and then send it to the CS600. So it's definitely more than a few clicks to get the route onto the bike computer. But on the bright side, the maps are offline and you don't don't have to rely on your phone for internet connection for the maps. It has 8GB internal storage, and if your area is not in the pre-downloaded maps, you can download the map from the Coospo website and send it to the device via USB. After a ride is done, it's synced to the app without any issues. I linked my Strava account once. My rides with the CS600 is uploaded on its own. Training Peaks is also listed as integration, but I didn't test it. One more thing for me, I use Apple Health, so at this moment there's no direct integration between the Coospo app and the Apple Health app. So yeah, even if the app is pretty basic, the must-have features is essentially in the app already. And right now it's just missing out on some of the nice-to-have features. Quick context, this is why some other brands cost more. You usually get richer map details, clearer turn guidance, and better routing tools. Secondly, climbs. Some unit will show you the climb profile, how much is left, and which gradient is coming. Third, the ecosystem. They offer sometimes more services like live track and incident alerts. So it's a bit more hands-off and you're relying on the head unit to do all those things for you. For the CS600, the core riding experience is strong, but there's still room for improvement on the navigation and ecosystem. So, with that in context, this is how the navigation with the CS600 feels like. If you load the GPX file and follow it, it does the job. You get a map and you get the turn prompts. The first thing, I personally feel that the alert tone is on the quiet side, especially in loud traffics or if you have hearing problems, you might miss a turn. There's a toggle for the tones, but I couldn't find a way to make it louder. Second, the turn prompts can sometimes turn up late, especially when I'm riding fast and there's a couple of turns close together. So I ended up glancing at the map a bit earlier instead of purely relying on the alert tone. The map page itself is also a bit limited. You can only have 2 data fields on the page, and interacting with the map feels a bit less smooth. Zooming in and out is one directional and sometimes it can feel a bit laggy. The map details depends on where you ride. Outside of the city, some paths are not shown in the map. Now, let's get back to that moment from the start. It tells you that you're off course, but it doesn't get you back. If you're like me, sometimes when you're in the zone, you'll probably miss a few turns. And it's likely that you realize it much later. So what I normally do is sometimes slow down, check the phone or the map, and backtrack until I get back on the route again. And once you're back on the route, it carry on like normal. So if you mostly ride planned routes, it's fine. But if you like exploring and making turns on the fly, then it's probably not gonna be ideal. Alright, so here's my take. If you mainly want a bike computer with good training or ride recording, a head unit with great data pages and stable connections, this is definitely a great value for money. And if navigation is the main reason to buy a bike computer, the CS600 still makes a lot of sense, as long as you're happy following a fixed route and backtrack if you miss a turn. So it's not good or bad, it's just about how you actually ride. Based on my conversation with Coospo, they have already planned some optimization in the roadmap. But at the moment, it's mainly focusing on refined radar integration and smarter automations. If Coospo keeps on improving the software, focusing especially on navigation and integrations, this could become a great contender against the big brands. If you're not sure which camp you are in, tell me how you ride and perhaps I can point you in the right direction. Alright, last question, and I'm genuinely interested, is having no rerouting feature is a deal breaker for you? Let me know in the comments below. If this video helped you, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing for more cycling content. And if you know someone who is shopping for a bike computer, definitely send them this video. If you're interested in the CS600, I'll put a discount code and link to the product in the description below. Alright, so I'll see you in the next one.